Good morning. I'm Diana Dibble, Vice President of Integrated Marketing Communications for American Dairy Association Northeast. On behalf of our organization, the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, and the Dairy Farm Families of Pennsylvania, welcome to the official unveiling of the 2022 butter sculpture. This is the 31st buttery masterpiece that will entertain the crowds here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. In just a moment, you'll hear from our special guests joining me here at the podium, including the Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding. Also in the crowd, I'd like to acknowledge Tim Cooley, Chief Operating Officer for American Dairy Association Northeast. From Land O'Lakes, Carlisle Plant, Max Simpson, Amanda Reif, Mark Bersani, Lori Furman, Dina Black, Joe Parson, Lauren Bowder, and Zach Scattergood. We thank you for your generous donation of butter. The Pennsylvania State Dairy Princesses, State Princess Michaela Davis, and alternates Kelly Bliss and Crystal Baumgardner, as well as representatives from 4-H State Council and FFA, Future Farmers of America, state officers. After remarks, we'll unveil the sculpture and have plenty of time for photos and interviews. It is now my pleasure to introduce dairy farmer Cassandra Long to speak on behalf of the state's dairy farmers. Cassie and her husband Robert are first-generation farmers at Doodle Along Farms in Spring City, where they also operate Kolb's Farm Store. Cassie?
Good morning. It is my pleasure to be here today on behalf of the Pennsylvania dairy farmers. For 3 decades, Pennsylvania dairy farmers, in cooperation with the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, have brought a remarkable butter sculpture to the Pennsylvania Farm Show. The butter sculpture is a creative way to showcase the dairy industry, and it also provides an opportunity for us to tell our story about the essential role dairy plays in nourishing our communities. I fell in love with dairy cows as a young girl who just loved animals. And through 4-H and with the help of other supportive dairy farmers, I was able to fulfill my dream of owning a dairy farm with my husband right here in Pennsylvania. As a first-generation dairy farmer and the owner of a country store, I speak to community members every day and bring a very consumer-focused perspective to dairy farming. I get to see firsthand how dairy contributes to a strong and thriving community. As dairy farmers, it is our goal to make our products, milk, butter, yogurt, and cheese, available to everyone. Together with our partners in agriculture, we work hard to feed our families to ensure that every child has access to all types of nutrient-rich foods, like fruits, vegetables, and dairy, to help them grow, learn, and thrive. We are working together to help build strong communities and leave the planet a better place for future generations. Farming is hard work. Some days are long, but my husband and I love every minute as we work together to build our farm, care for our cows, raise our families, and serve our community. That's just what makes this butter sculpture so special to me. But no spoilers just yet. We'll get there in a moment. I would like to thank our sculptors, Jim Victor and his wife, Marie Pelton, for the 14 days of hard work that they put behind this year's sculpture. Your dedication and artistry are truly appreciated. And I would also like to recognize Land O'Lakes for donating 1,000 pounds of butter for the sculpture. Thank you for your continued support. In closing, I would like to thank more than 5,400 Pennsylvania dairy farm families and their hard work and dedication to helping feed our communities by producing a safe and wholesome, nutritious product. Thank you for having me here today. Diane, I will return the microphone back over to you.
Thank you, Cassie. As Cassie mentioned, more than 1,000 pounds of butter were used for this year's sculpture, and here to talk about their work are the sculptors and husband and wife, Jim Victor and Marie Pelton of Montgomery County.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. I'm glad everybody is here today, and I just wanted to thank the people that made this thing possible, which is the dairy farmers of Pennsylvania. They're the number one. Beyond that, Russell Redding and the Department of Agriculture here has been very supportive. Also, the American Dairy Association Northeast, Diana Dibble, Rick Noxie, want to thank the people here at the farm show. Without the help of JR, for example, we couldn't have done this, and also Matt in the maintenance department here. Scott in the carpentry shop was extraordinary. Really helped us get through this thing. We had so much. You can't take all your tools with you, and he helped a great deal in making it all possible. And of course, I want to thank my wife, Marie, who helped me with this. She's the sharer of this burden that we have here, making this sculpture. She can say some words about it now, if she cares to.
Hi, it's great to be back again this year, and I just wanted to say that Jim and I had spent the last 14 days in the butter booth creating this sculpture, and there was quite a lot of work that goes into making the butter sculpture even prior to us getting here. So there's a lot of planning involved, with the Department of Agriculture and the American Dairy Association Northeast, and also creating the understructure for the butter sculpture as well. This is the butter this year will be donated to Rhineford Farms to be recycled into energy. And so we hope you enjoy the butter sculpture.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Jim and Marie. Now, please join me in welcoming the 26th Secretary of Agriculture for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Russell Redding.
Diana, thank you. Good morning, everybody. It is great to see you. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Farm Show and the Farm Show Complex. We are honored to host this show and look forward to the 106th Pennsylvania Farm Show and look forward to this day of the annual butter sculpture unveiling. As noted already, a couple of thank yous, that we simply would not be here, right, without all of the staff support and the folks who make this complex run throughout the year. So to Sharon Myers and her team, exceptional team, thank you to the American Dairy Association Northeast for being a great champion of the dairy industry here in this region in Pennsylvania. Thank you for your work. To Jim and Marie, thanks for stepping into the cooler and working your magic. I'm anxious to see it as well, and spending 14 days sculpting 1,000 pounds of butter. As I shared with them earlier, I see a sketch on a piece of paper, and then all of a sudden, the talent that they have bring it to life. And I'm always amazed that somebody can take that 8.5 by 11 sketch and put it forth and have this be an amazing story of Pennsylvania dairy through butter. But also, I want to say thank you to the dairy producers. Cassie Long this morning here, important statement. As proud as I am of all of the things we do in agriculture, it begins at the farm. It begins with folks who are committed to this industry across Pennsylvania. And that's what this show is about, a chance to honor them, to thank them, and to celebrate with them the work that they do, but what they do for us. So I am honored to stand here today with the dairy industry, just as they stand with us all year long. Agriculture has been and will always be essential. This year's Farm Show theme is Harvesting More, and the sculpture, which you'll see in a moment, captures this sentiment. Throughout the pandemic, we've all realized that despite the time apart, we are stronger and more resilient through our joint efforts. Together, we are harvesting more to provide for Pennsylvanians, even in times of uncertainty and need. Over the past 2 years, it has been a privilege to meet people in agriculture who embody what it means to harvest more. The faces of Pennsylvania agriculture are diverse. They're first generation and 10th generation. They're male and female, they're Amish, they're English, they're urban, they're rural. They're dairy producers, they're urban gardeners, they're folks who are working the food banks through the last 2 years, they're innovators and mechanics, and so much more. And each story is unique, but regardless of where they are or where they call home, there is commonality in our mission. Together we are feeding the Commonwealth and the nation, and we will celebrate and share these stories and achievements throughout the week here at the 106th Pennsylvania Farm Show. So as we unveil the 31st Pennsylvania butter sculpture, Farm Show butter sculpture, we're also reminded of the importance of the dairy industry. Dairy has a long, storied history in our Commonwealth. It's an economic driver. $14 billion investment of this industry. It employs 53,000 men and women across the state, and it has a deep history that has shaped our Commonwealth and our region. As a state, we've invested time and resources in dairy. We continue to work with our General Assembly and all of the stakeholders to support the industry through the Center for Dairy Excellence, through the Dairy Investment Program, the Farm Bill programs of Farm to School and Urban Ag. We see growth and innovation for dairy in Pennsylvania. Our Pennsylvania Preferred Program assures that consumers, that their milk is Pennsylvania produced, and it gives them pride and confidence to know that purchase supports Pennsylvania farm families. These efforts are matched by the heart and the passion and the dedication of the dairy industry itself, and reflected through their outstanding products fueling an industry that is essential to the Commonwealth's success. It is a great example of harvesting more. So I'll end where I began, with a simple thank you to everyone who ensures that food reaches our tables. We thank you for that. And we thank the farmers of Pennsylvania for what you do all day. Enjoy this farm show, and let's reveal this sculpture. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Redding. I'll now invite the Secretary, Cassie, our sculptors, our State Dairy Princess to come forward and unveil the 2022 Pennsylvania Farm Show butter sculpture.
Okay.
All you have to do is hit the center button, and then, are you ready? Do you want to stand on one side?
Get in front of every window.
And it's time. This year's sculpture, Harvesting More Together, features urban and rural communities coming together by toasting glasses of milk. The sculpture depicts a dairy farmer in a rural community sharing a glass of milk with urban gardeners in front of a city skyline, celebrating how they come together to feed communities. From farm to city, partners in agriculture are harvesting more together. Thank you for attending the unveiling of the 2022 Pennsylvania Farm Show butter sculpture.